Welcome, everyone. As some of you may know, this is a series on following up from the Varysian Hydromet Awards that we ran last year. What we're doing here is interviewing some of the winners. This is a chance to get to know some of these companies and what they do and the individuals, and really kind of why they won and what sets them apart from the rest is what we're looking to get to here. So today we're with Drew from Autonaut. And we've worked with these guys for the last year or so in their meteorological applications of their tech. It's amazing what they do. We always admire innovation in this space, and new technology or improved technology coming into service, national weather services, and other industries is what we like to see. So Drew will introduce himself in a second there, but so Autonaut won an award with Varysian in excellence in ocean, marine, and coastal monitoring technologies. So I just want to first give a chance here to say congratulations to you guys. And Drew, do you want to start off here by just introducing yourself and mention the award and how you guys feel about that? That'd be a good start.
Sure. Thanks, Luke. And nice to see you again, bud. Thanks for having me. So Drew Watney, I do business development and sales with Autonaut, which is a division of Seiche. And we were fortunate enough to receive an award from you guys last year at Vienna. I didn't pick it up myself. Terry, my director, headed over and received that award, but we're greatly honored. And it sort of shows what we've been doing in the mid-ocean sector lately. Coming to all your events. It's obviously paid dividends, and we have one of our largest clients with the biggest Autonaut fleet in the world is Barbados Met Services. So it's a big sector for us, and we were very honored to receive an award in that sector. So stoked and over the moon. And it's probably the sector we do the most business in at the moment. And that's there are other sectors. We look at a little bit into defense, mainly mammal monitoring too, in environmental. There's some oil and gas stuff which relates to our parent company, which is Seiche. But I can talk about that a bit later. But as far as the reward goes, we're greatly honored, and hopefully there's another one in the pipeline.
Absolutely. Just give us a little bit of background on Autonaut then, if you don't mind. Just sort of what is your core tech? Obviously, the uncrewed surface vessel idea. What is that? For anybody that isn't sure here, give us a little bit of a summary there.
No problem. And yeah, you're right. USVs are only sort of starting to get popular these days. It's still quite unfamiliar for people. But yeah, unmanned or uncrewed surface vessels. We're a British-owned and manufactured company that does USVs. Like I said before, our parent company, which is Seiche, has its backgrounds in marine technology, passive acoustic monitoring equipment, mammal monitoring equipment, noise pollution monitoring in oil and gas when they build the pylons and do the wind farms, etc. So Seiche is the parent company, and we're essentially, we used to be our own company, Autonaut, but have just recently been incorporated into Seiche, and we're now a department of Seiche, and essentially an extension of their technologies. So Seiche do all the listening equipment, and then for the passive acoustic monitoring stuff, and then Autonaut is essentially a platform. So if you imagined, I'm sure you're going to mix in a few images and videos into this interview so that people listening will have an idea, but imagine a 5-meter stealth-looking kayak boat sort of looking thing in the water, wave-propelled. It's essentially a platform. You can load it up with all sorts of sensors that you like, across all sectors. And we're wave-propelled, and we are solar powered, so we can go out for months at a time using the wave energy to sort of be propelled, and we can be out for up to 6 months, so long as there's enough sunshine to power our batteries, and taking measurements and doing missions and deployments for whatever application you need.
That's amazing. It's really quite a striking thing to see, and I know you guys often bring a kind of model of it. But what would you say sets it apart here? I know that there's obviously some other unmanned vessels out there, but it's so suited for long endurance work, right? How does it set apart?
Yeah, so some of the talking points for that would be, Look, there's a lot of USV companies out there now. We were one of the first 15 years ago in England anyway, and there's plenty out there now, but we still are quite unique in a way that we are wave propelled. So a lot of companies use battery power and motors, propellers for propulsion. We use wave energy. Now there's only actually two other companies who are competition to us that use wind and wave. So we're quite unique in that way. We're designed for persistence, not speed. So we can get 2.5 knots, but very persistent and can go for months and months and months as long as there's enough sunshine. Ultra low emissions. We're very quiet. So that's why the defense companies are taking a bit of interest. There's also a lot of interest from oil and gas and wind farms because those companies need to measure how much noise pollution they make. And we're a really good platform for that. We can cruise around the building site out at sea, slowly measuring their noise pollution and reporting in real time back to HQ what those noise measurements are. So it's all real time stuff. And Autonaut's, because it's so quiet and the noise signature is so low, we're really suited for that sort of stuff. No crew needed, no refueling. No frequent recovery. It's quite stable.
So you can kind of you can sort of build out for whatever your purpose is a sort of sensor stack, right? And it really, I guess it really varies on the use cases for it, but obviously it's not attached to like one thing or another. Essentially, it's the vessel that can house these sensors, and which means it can be used across many applications. Is that fair to say?
Exactly right. And the best way to sort of give you some working examples of that is Barbados with BMS, the Met Office there. They use our platform and they load it up with weather monitoring sensors. So essentially it's a mobile weather buoy. That's 6 of them cruising in Barbados at the moment and surrounding area. That's one application. Another would be just to measure wind farm noise pollution. We can also tow do towed arrays out the back of an Autonaut that can measure mammal monitoring. So quite diverse, but those are the main sectors that we service. And we've actually had one Autonaut launch a sea glider from underneath it too, which was a first for us. We did that with the University of East Anglia a few years ago, and that was quite novel.
Wow, that's great. Just to touch on Barbados a bit then, and it's a big thing to get those out in Barbados. That's a great case study for you guys. So, what does it mean? What is this kind of partnership? What does it mean for forecasting, climate resilience? Those kind of hot button topics. Like what is it doing for those causes? Let's say.
Yeah, well, it's huge. I mean, Barbados and BMS have really championed Autonaut for us. They have the largest fleet in the world at the moment. All 6. We have the last 2 being delivered. They're actually in a container now on a ship being delivered, and they'll have a fleet of 6 when they all arrive, all on rotation, just out there. Early warning system for hurricanes, just monitoring the weather. And a lot of the Caribbean states now, surrounding island nations, are actually starting to notice what Barbados are doing and are taking a keen interest in that. So that'll be good for us, to hopefully extend our reach in the Caribbean. But yeah, it's this continuous med ocean and weather data transfers in that part of the Atlantic. And it's Barbados is that further island outside the Caribbean, off the Caribbean into the Atlantic. So the first to receive the hurricanes.
Yeah.
So a perfect use case for us, to have Barbados really champion Autonaut has been massive for us. So
yeah, it makes perfect sense in that kind of island setting. I mean, it's just like a coastal as well, but it's majority oceans, right? So it's so key to be monitoring out there. But
yeah, fully operational deployment too. No trial and error. We're not trialing anything anymore. We're tried and tested. Great success. So.
Just out of a point of curiosity for me, when you're setting the kind of course that it's got to take, is it something that let's say it's got to go in this certain region and not into this region? Is that an automated thing? Do you set the path and it follows the path? Like how does just as a point of curiosity for me?
No, great question. And people talk about autonomy and autonomous vessels and all this. we're there, but we're not quite there because these vessels are still piloted. But to answer your question, if we wanted to do a certain circuit, follow a certain route, you'd set up waypoints like you would on a vessel, on a normal vessel, with their GPS, and the Autonaut can follow those waypoints on its own. But when we pilot for companies or BMS like Met officers, we always are monitoring what the Autonaut is doing 24/7. But it can do things on its own, but they are always being monitored. So that's just something I want to be clear on.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's really interesting. I want to talk about, I know that you talk about the 5 meter vessel, but I know you have a 12 meter, I understand, in development. I mean, that's a significantly larger bit of kit there. What does that bring in terms of like additional capabilities? Is it longer range, or what is the 12 meter one all about?
Yeah, so you're right. It's a huge upgrade. I mean, it only just fits into a 40-foot container. We made sure of that because we wanted to keep the logistics as simple as possible. But I'll send you a photo of the two Autonauts sat next to each other, and you'll just blow your mind. Like the volume increase and the girth. It's a much larger vessel, and with that comes higher power capacity, greater payload flexibility, improved propulsion. We're hoping to get 2 more knots speed, so it'd be about 4 knots speed, improved station keeping. And what the most important thing with the Autonaut 12 is it's going to give us a clear pathway to MCA compliance too, which is what we're struggling with the 5 meter in England. So just to explain and to be clear, we are fine internationally. That's where we sell most of our Autonauts. So the United Kingdom and the MCA, they're still going through the regulatory compliance for these sorts of vessels, and they're trying to work it all out. And the 12 meter is going to be a big step forward for us to become compliant in England. And in the United Kingdom. So that's really one of the main points. We're going larger, but there's just so much more it does for us. Bigger sensor payload. We go from 120 kilo payload to like 1,000 kilograms. And it can hold like large amounts of fuel if we do want to use that option to have like a backup fuel. And we're talking like out at sea for 6 to 12 months without having to be even looked at. So
amazing. That's amazing. I mean, it's revolutionary for like ocean monitoring. It's like, I mean, do you always compare to kind of, buoys or buoys like out in the sea that obviously they're static, stationary, that it's such a big difference in capability having a be, mobile and covering important areas and circling. And it's an amazing bit of kit.
Yeah. No, important point there about buoys versus us. We're like a mobile buoy, but essentially we're trying to replace ships. We're not trying to replace buoys, even though that's a good thing too. We've already done that with the 5 meter because in Barbados they would be using weather buoys, right? So now they're using Autonauts. We can get in front of storms, we can chase weather, we can position ourselves in just the right place to get the best readings on the weather. And but what we try and do with the 12 is we want to replace people having to use ships to go do things. Like, for an example, one of our applications is called communications gateway. So you might have a sensor, in the middle of the Atlantic, down on the seabed, 3 kilometers down, measuring things all year long. And then once a ship has to come over and then extract that information via a modem, send it via satellite back to HQ. That's like a big ship. It's got crews, diesel engines, expensive. But with an Autonaut, you can do the same thing. You can just send it. It just takes a bit longer for it to get there. Send the Autonaut out there, extracts the information, does exactly the same job for a fraction of the price and low emissions. So we're trying to replace ships.
Yeah, I'm saying you have a command and control system. What is that about? Is that to do with like reliability, autonomy? What's this new system you've got going on?
Well, it's a C2 system, and we've named it C2, SEA number 2. Just been named last week, and this is one of our latest products to come out of Autonaut. We before we're using a slightly dated. Let me explain to you what a command and control does. It's basically the brains of the boat, and it's in charge of driving and doing all the automated stuff around driving and commanding the vessel. So very important piece of kit. And we've just upgraded, made our own one, partnering with the University of Porto, and using their software and their hardware, we've come up with our own kit. And it's pretty exciting because it's going to have a whole new front end. Completely new front end and interface. So in sort of layman's terms on that, imagine going from like an old school Nintendo, whatever, to like a PlayStation 5, with graphics and functionality. So we've upgraded like that. And the most important thing about this is it's going to improve what the Autonaut does. We can also offer it to all our clients who are using the old system. It's a new product for us, a new revenue stream. And it lines up a strong foundation for higher autonomy and compliance too, which is what we're ultimately trying to do with the MCA, is get compliant in the United Kingdom. And this C2 system is going to give us a bit of nudge forward to get there for compliance.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, that makes sense. No, we always admire companies that are constantly developing, constantly looking for that. It's easy to kind of rest on your tech, but it's like constantly improving and reacting. I mean, look at, a lot of people watching this will, be from National Weather Services. We operate here as Varysian in most continents, but let's take Africa for instance. Huge coastlines in many countries there. What is the bottom line like for these National Weather Services that have busy seas, busy coastlines? Like what is it going to do for them?
The C2 and Autonaut as a whole.
Autonaut as a whole. Yeah.
Look, all they have to do is look what's going on in Barbados and just see how it's improved the data transfer and efficiency of how they get their data and the accuracy of it too. Like, imagine you got these weather systems and you got these buoys that are positioned in certain areas, but they're sort of missing the weather. They're not getting the full brunt of it, the full brunt. With an Autonaut, because we're mobile, you can move them around and you can really place them wherever you want, which means you're getting the best of the data. Like, you're getting the strongest winds, you're getting the best part of the weather system. And long term, to service a weather buoy too, you got to go out there with a boat. You got to extract the weather buoy. You got to service it either on deck, or you bring it in, service it, take it back out again. Logistically, it's quite complicated. So with an Autonaut, you just tell that thing to come home. It comes back to you. You're sending the next one out. It's like a nice smooth rotation, and ultimately, it's cheaper to run too.
Yeah,
it's the upkeep is much less and actually easier to do and kinder on emissions too. It leaves less of a carbon footprint using an Autonaut than it does with having to use weather buoys. So all those African countries, they just need to look at what we're doing in Barbados and just see how successful we've been there, and they can relate it to themselves in one way or the other, I'm sure.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. So, just looking at Seiche, obviously deep roots in ocean acoustics, environmental monitoring. There's technologies out there like Hydrac and PAM and, real-time noise monitoring. How does this complement Autonaut's capabilities?
Yeah, so great question. And you mustn't just to be clear, Autonaut uses third-party sensors in a lot of the platforms. We have options with Seiche for certain applications, but we mostly use third-party. But having Seiche there is amazing as a parent company and an ocean technology company, because they provide a whole selection of technologies that some of them can be used with Autonauts. As an example, their PAM systems, we can tow those. We can do the towed arrays. We can use Autonaut as a communications gateway to those technologies that are, say, like on the seabed, like the Hydrac can sit under the water in the seabed. We can use the Autonaut to sort of transfer the information. So they are relatable, and we use some Seiche technologies, but mostly third party. But as a sister parent company, you couldn't ask for a better fit, because marine technology, and now since they've bought us, we essentially are just another one of their technologies or a department of. So we fit in really well there. If you wanted to sum it up, Autonaut is like an endurance platform, and Seiche is like the measurement experts. So they have all the measurement equipment, that you can put onto an Autonaut. But mostly they operate independently of us, and then every now and then we swoop in and we complement them on a job or an application. Yeah.
No, that's really interesting. That's great. Well, look, I guess one of the last things from me is, obviously we've spoken about your new command and control system, the new 12 meter coming out there, but what does the future look like beyond? I mean, it's difficult to say beyond that. What does it look like? It's not going to be a 15 meter one next, but I mean, what is the aim here for the next sort of few years for Autonaut? I know that National Weather Services is a big aim for you guys, but what does the next few years look like?
Yeah, great. Thanks. Great question. We 12 to 36 months. I think we'd like to get this 12 meter internationalized or commercialized. I'd like to see it in a few continents, including Barbados. I think they're going to be our first. I'd like to see that one rolled out, and so people can see it in person. We're still in development stages with the 12 meter, but that's a big one for us. And also the command and control. This is a major upgrade for our technology, and it applies to everybody who's ever owned an Autonaut, including our competition. So we really want to roll that out across the whole world if we can, because it can be used in a 5 meter Autonaut, it can be used in a 12 to 15 meter or 30 meter. It really has a great capability. So focus for us for the next 12 to 36 months is the 12 meter and our new C2. And we hope to commercialize them both. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great. Well, look, I guess that's it from my side. I want to give you a chance in a minute to say anything else, but again, it's our experience of Autonaut and the reputation that we know the company has, and Seiche as well, of course, is phenomenal. The tech is unbelievable. We'd really recommend getting in touch with Drew and the team, even if it's just sort of learning about the application, the difference of what traditional tech in that space, and it's a really fascinating space to be in. And again, they've won this award, well deserved and well earned. But Drew, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to say? I guess obviously people are free to get in touch with you there directly, and we'll make sure your contacts are out there and everything. But anything else you want to wrap up with?
Yeah, thanks, Luke. And no, we really appreciate you guys and the support you've given us throughout the years. We really enjoy your events. We're looking forward to coming to the next one, probably later in the year or 2027. But thank you anyway. And we're going to be at Oceanology this year, Seiche and Autonaut. So Oceanology at the Excel in London in March, and we're also going to be at Ocean Tech in Plymouth in June. So anybody keen to come have a look and have a chat, you're very welcome.